Hello, social workers, mental health professionals, and change agents. Welcome to another episode of the Social Work Rants podcast. I'm your host, Bass Moreno. Saludos a todos. Greetings, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in wherever you are watching or listening to this podcast. I appreciate all the love and support. Gracias a todos por su apoyo. Uh, it's been a little bit uh, since I recorded a podcast episode, released one. A lot can happen in a few weeks. Uh, but before I get started, this episode is brought to you by Bass City Entertainment, uh, currently doing business as Bass Moreno Consulting, providing financial education for people of color in the sandwich generation, providing financial education and counseling, helping them build a life of financial stability. If you are between the ages of 35 and 55, caring for an older adult and have children on your own, you are a member of the sandwich generation. And I'm looking for you. If you're looking to better your finances, have some uh, counseling sessions or what you're struggling with the most financially, please go to bassmorenoconsulting.com, my brand new website. For more information, set up a Calendly call. Sessions start at $25 for a 30-minute consultation. So, yep, $25 for 30-minute consultation. Bassmoreno consulting.com for more info. This episode, uh, or all podcast episodes, is not to be used as a substitute for individual therapy. If you need assistance, please call 988. Call 911 if you have to. If you have a therapist, call your therapist. If you have a psychiatrist, call a psychiatrist. It's okay not to be okay. Talk to someone. For all my out of the country listeners and viewers, if you have whatever your emergency number is, use that phone number and seek help. And again, it's okay not to be okay. Uh, and of course, follow the podcast on all social media outlets on Instagram, can't speak. Uh, at the Social Work Rants podcast, that is all one word. On Twitter, X at Social Work Rants, and Facebook, hit that like button, the Social Work Rants podcast. Hit that red subscribe button on YouTube. And however you listen to the podcast, subscribe, share, download podcast episodes. Season 8 is winding down, and summer is winding down. Like toward the end of July, almost August, and it's been one heck of a busy summer season to say the least. So with the new website, working on my business, I'll get into the real meats and potatoes of the summer um, in another podcast episode. If you follow the podcast on Instagram, you know, uh, part of uh, well, the main one of the main events of the summer uh, that has taken place. So the other main events or co-main event is my audiobook of Triumph Through Pain, How to Maximize Your Full Potential in Hard Times. It's finally going to be released August the 15th, 2024. Mark that down on your calendar. Yes, the book is narrated by me. Um, and yes, you can still get the book on paperback. It's 30 pages, soaking wet. It's a quick read, but let the words marinate. Um, yes, 30 pages, audiobook out August 15th is my mom's birthday that day. What better way to honor her than to release the poetry book in her honor on her birthday? So, going to therapy, my therapist always asks me, "How do you? What memories do you have in your mom? What? How do you honor her?" So, what better way to? I'm doing my homework, doing my therapy homework, uh, and and releasing my poetry book on mom's birthday. So definitely check it out. Um, yeah, for those who got the physical copy when it first came out, again, thank you for your support. I've been starting and stopping this audiobook thing for a while and get stuck with it. So to be released finally is beyond excited for it. Uh, that being said, today's topic is uh, caregiving is a bitch. For those that don't know, care for my pops, and oof, the this summer has been especially rough. Uh, Multiple hospitalizations, for variety. Well, just he's autoimmune, so he's prone to infections and having issues with his long-term care insurance company. S- a week in skilled nursing to build his strength, and it's just caregiving is rough. It's no way ins and outs about it. It is rough. How, however, I'm mindful that just you know you gotta do what you gotta do for your family. At least old school that way. That's how I was raised. Uh, and yet, I do manage to find things, do things to care for myself. And one of the main things has always been this podcast. So, and for you out there in the podcast world to take the time to either watch or listen to me talk and rant and BS and have guests on and think outside the box. No, I'll forever thank you for that. So, um, and just sometimes just ramble along is might be another rambling episode. But it is rough, and when obviously I got my wife has a support system, but when that's all you got for support, and it's like the it's a cycle, it goes just a circle, just it's constant. Okay, what now? What happened now? And it's like, all right, being on hand and foot for someone is like basically in a way sometimes dealing with a baby that you got to be on top of hand and foot. And so it's uh rough, but for me, you know pops doesn't have anybody else but me. So I'm here to the end, and I did that for mom, and now I'm doing it until I couldn't anymore, and COVID played a part in that, and doing it now. So it's is something I don't talk about in therapy, and is like uh, and my therapist know how I feel about the situation. So is it, it's just hard and challenging, and you realize United States health system, it sucks. You realize, uh, well, I already knew just by working in the state I work in that resources are few and far between. So when you want something or you need something, and you come from another state that had more resources because it's bigger, and you come down to a smaller state, and it's like where the resources at, and is you need a car for pretty much to do everything, and it's a lot. So that's my rant for today. Short is sweet to the point. Uh, shout out to all the caregivers. If you have a older adult that you care for, it is not fun. Uh, I see a lot of caregiving agencies, and I know a lot focuses on Alzheimer's and dementia, and you just there needs to be more support groups just for caring for someone who's autoimmune deficient, and someone who's day to day, just kidney transplant survivors. So I'm sure they're out there. You just do Google searches, but if you know of anybody or any organization, by all means, let me know, because it's is a real struggle, and people need. For myself, as late. I'm like the baby Gen X. I'm as much as a millennial, but I'm technically uh, a Gen Xer, and people my age, going on 45, in the early 50s, and who got parents in 60s and their 70s, and having some health issues, and you know I got friends who are struggling with their parents or their in-laws, and we on in the same boat, and we talk and see how what's going on with your parent, what's new, and so I got those supports, but there needs to be more out there. Needs to be more. That's why I would, before the president dropped out of the race. President Biden was talking about uh, helping caregivers more, and I hope if Vice President Harris, if she wins the presidency, she continues on and talk about that more, and actually could do something for caregivers as a country, because it's a real struggle, and that's why I talk about regarding my business, and having those type of tough conversations about estate planning for your older parents, or your auntie, if you came from an auntie or a grandparent. So while still trying to handle your own finances for you, the person, and then you got kids and you got to worry about college, or trade school or something like that. So it's a lot. So uh, that's that's my get off the high horse for today. Uh, and again, if you know of any resources, by all means, please hit me up. Let me know. Share. I'm not a gatekeeper, so I will share any sort of resources that's out for us caregivers who are struggling. And one day at a time, we keep fighting the good fight, and do the best I can to care for pops. He got more lives than a cat. CDC need to be like uh, watching his body, because he's done sometimes in the past. I think he got got one foot on the other side, and he comes back somehow. So, and sometimes I think he might outlive me. So that's real. That's how strong how strong pops is. Uh, so yeah, that's my story. Until next time, peace, y'all. Stay safe.